So a lot of people are talking about how Mario is having his 40th anniversary very soon in September. A lot of people are focused on it. They're saying like, well, is Nintendo gonna do something? Are they not gonna do something? Are they just gonna let it slide this year? No, they're not gonna let it slide. Everyone calm down, okay? They're gonna do something with this 40th anniversary. I promise. They better. But here's the thing, okay? Everyone's glossing over the fact that Zelda actually has her 40th anniversary in February. What's going on, guys? It's the Mossy Jake. Make sure to hit that like button, hit subscribe, because I'm so excited about today's video. I did not, like, I keep forgetting this, because, and which is weird, like, I didn't know it was this close. Like, you know, like, I didn't know that it was in February, and I should know that, because I'm a huge Zelda fan, right? But when I first heard this, I was like, wait a minute. Zelda does have the 40th anniversary in February. That's very soon. You know what I'm saying? So Nintendo has always have their directs in September, and then they usually do one in February. So it would make sense that we're going to focus on Mario this September, you know, 40th anniversary. And then in February, the next direct will focus on something Zelda. Now, you might be thinking, okay, well, what about Age and Imprisonment? Yeah, that's a Zelda game. A lot of people have been saying, well, oh, sorry, a lot of rumors have been going around that they're planning something big for this, that it's going to be like a yearly event. Now, I don't really know about that. Like, why would they do that for Zelda but not Mario? I'm not really sure, but I do think they're going to give us something. And here's the thing. Nintendo has been trying to give us something Zelda every year. Now, that doesn't mean like a brand new 3D big open world Zelda every year. No, of course not. But something Zelda, right? So we got in 2023, it was Tears of the Kingdom, right? That was the big one. In 2024, it was Echoes of Wisdom. Now it's Age of Imprisonment, and you know, that game may not come out in time before the year to end, but it still kind of fills that gap because we know it's coming. Everyone knows what the next Zelda game is, even though it's kind of like it's not third party, but it's like a second party game, I guess you could say. I don't really know. It's not first party, but it's not third party. It's kind of weird, but you know, so like that is the next Zelda game, of course. And for this year, even if it comes out like early next year, I think it would still count as this year, right? But here's the thing. 40th anniversary. Do you really think Nintendo's going to come out here like, for Zelda's 40th anniversary, we're going to give you Age of Imprisonment. A second tier game. like a second party game. No. And you might be thinking, well, they can't release the new 3D Zelda game. You're right. There's no way they're going to release the new 3D brand new Zelda game by next year. You know, it's not the time for it. If it was, you know, Nintendo's not going to rush it just to get it out before the 40th anniversary. No, that's not like them, and I'm happy they don't do that because that's a terrible move. However, I do think they are totally going to give us something. Okay? Like, I could see them going out like, okay, let's look at Mario's 35th anniversary. They gave us like a repack of games, right? Either something like that or like a brand new remake of something. Now, there's a lot of rumors going around about one specific game that makes me very excited, guys. And it's been going around for a long time. Like, there was rumors like a few years ago that they were starting to work on it, and that was an Ocarina of Time remake. What better way to celebrate the 40th anniversary of Zelda than remaking the greatest Zelda game of all time? In fact, probably the greatest game of all time. You know, and I guess they could remake the original Zelda. That'd be kind of cool. The original Zelda in like the toy-like Link's Awakening animation. Yeah, I guess they could do that with the original Zelda. That'd be kind of cool. That would work for the 40th anniversary. And I don't think it would be too hard, right? But guys, we just got Echoes of Wisdom. That's the thing. We just got Echoes of Wisdom. That was our 2D Zelda. We just got our 3D Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. We're getting Age of Imprisonment. That's like the second party game. What else is there? A remake of a 3D game. Now they could do ports, right? I guess they could put Twilight Princess and Wind Waker on the actual Switch, but they're putting that on GameCube Games Online, or at least Wind Waker, right? You could say Twilight Princess, but that, I don't know. You could, and I would love that, but I think could just come to GameCube Games Online, right? I think that's a great marketing tactic for GameCube Games Online, just like Wind Waker, or Wii games if they ever do that, right? The only thing that actually makes sense in my mind is a remake of a 3D game, and the only game I could see them actually remaking is Ocarina of Time, because that one's like a little older. It's the first ever 3D Zelda game, and it's the greatest game of all time. Everyone's been asking for a remake for a very, very long time. It makes sense, and it's kind of blowing my mind over here. Like, what would Nintendo do next? Now, they were saying when they were making Echoes of Wisdom, right, that it was originally going to be a 2D Zelda Maker, kind of like Mario Maker, but then they just changed Echoes of Wisdom. So I guess you could say, well, maybe they had all those plans, so they'll just give us that. You know, they could, but we already got our 2D Zelda game. We already got our top-down Zelda game, right? So I feel like it'd be a few more years till we got that. With the only thing that actually makes sense in my mind for a 40th anniversary is Ocarina of Time. Like, it's the only thing that makes sense in my mind, and it's kind of driving me crazy. Because what else would they give us? Now, they could just give us Age of Imprisonment, but that doesn't seem like a huge celebration of Zelda. A second-party Zelda game? That doesn't seem... No, that doesn't... I feel like it has to be something special, and Ocarina of Time checks all these boxes. It's the one that makes the most sense. It's the one that... He checks all the boxes, right? That would be good for a 40th anniversary direct. And it just... I can't. It's driving me crazy, chat. Ocarina of Time, if you have not played Ocarina of Time, it's the greatest game of all time, probably. You know, like, it's old. I mean, I wouldn't say it's, like, my favorite game of all time, because it's, you know, it's old. You know, the camera's kind of wacky. But according to, like, what is it, Metacritic or whatever, it has, like, 100%. It's, like, got the highest score or something. Maybe not the highest score. Well, it's up. Sorry. It has like 100%, right? And there's probably other games that have 100% too, I'm sure, right? But last time I checked, it did. And so many people just consider it the greatest game of all time. So it's perfect. Like, what more could you want? We had that interview I think it was a few years ago. Someone asked the director of Zelda, right? Is it like, hey, would you ever consider remaking Ocarina of Time? And then the director looked at, like, his partner. I forgot who it was, but he looked at his partner, and he's like, and he just smiled and laughed. And I don't think he said I don't know if he really answered the question, but he just, like, it made it seem like they had the idea way back then, and working on it for about 2 years, a remake of a smaller 3D Zelda game. Yeah, that would take about 2 years to make, right? Maybe he was laughing because they had, like, just barely started on it, or they just barely had the idea. He's like, how do they know? What are you hiding, Nintendo? Please remake Ocarina of Time. Like I said, you know, you could bring Twilight Princess to the Switch too. That would be an easy port. But, that would be awesome. But, like I said, you could put that on Game Games Online. We've already had 2D. We're having Age of Imprisonment. But that can't be a 40th anniversary game for Zelda. It's the only thing that makes sense. That, or if they remade the first original Zelda. But then again, that doesn't really make sense too, because we already had our 2D top-down Zelda game. Ocarina of Time is the only game that makes sense. But let me know down below in the comments what you guys think. Do you think we'll be getting a 3D remake of Ocarina of Time for the 40th anniversary of Zelda? Let me know down below in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts. And of course, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and we will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.